All right, folks, this is Burning for Dallas. I am your host, Evan Price from the On Your Left Power Rankings, and I'm here with three of my favorite people in the sport of triathlon, Benny Randall, Josh Money Manda, and Caleb the Kale Salad Pennington. You're getting a new nickname every single week, Kale. These are three friends, training partners, and for the purpose of this podcast, also immediate competition to each other in just about 8 weeks. We are here to discuss our lead up to the season opener for North American Ironman, the 70.3 Dallas-Little Elm, new race, new venue. We're all excited. All right, so I want to give everybody a chance to introduce themselves. So I'm going to kick it to Ben first. Give us an intro to who Ben Randall is.
Happy that we're doing this. I think this is going to be fun to document these next 8 weeks. My name is Ben Randall. I am currently a full-time journalist with CSU, Colorado State University, and I've been doing tri at a professional level for 2 years now. Proud dog dad to Mabel. If you follow anything on my social media, that is a big part of me.
What kind of dog is Ben? Or is Mabel Ben?
What type of dog is Ben is a fucking competitor.
He's a dog, is what he is.
Mabel's she's a retriever pit bull mix that I got from a shelter about 2 years ago.
That is wild. If anybody looks at it or knows Mabel, I would not have guessed golden retriever pit bull. That's a crazy combo.
Yeah, maybe just more like Aussie or like retriever. I don't think she's a golden mix, but yeah, gotcha. She's very unique.
Yeah. All right, Money Manda.
What's up, everyone? Proud to be on the podcast and looking forward to this series with you guys. I'm Josh Money Manda. I am the old man in triathlon. I might be the oldest participant this year in the men's pro field.
We need to look at that stat. I think you might be.
Yeah, I'll be 44 next month. So, but apparently I look like Kale's brother. So that's a compliment because Kale is 20 years younger than me. So I'm a father to two boys, husband, and a small business owner. And this is my third year racing professional triathlon. And I've raced amateur going back to 2006.
All right. And Josh's brother to his right on our screen, Cale Penny.
Hey, guys. My name is Cale Penny. I've going into my second year as a pro triathlete. I'm a swim coach, bike mechanic, kind of do a little bit of everything. Really excited to be here. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of crazy introductions like they do, but just kind of a guy out here trying to get a little bit better at triathlon.
Nice. Also, the youngest guy on the podcast, I think. I think Josh is the oldest guy in triathlon, and Cale is probably on the bottom 10 youngest guys in pro triathlon right now. 24, right?
26, a little older than I.
26. Okay, never mind. Yeah, he's mid-20s.
Still bottom end of the long course pros. There's not a whole lot of us that are real young.
Yeah, awesome. All right, and I am Evan Price. I'm a physical therapist and coach out here living in Vancouver, Washington, where Josh is, and also where Caleb is living. So Ben is the only one who is not a Pacific Northwesterner in this crew. I just realized he is. Ben is more in the heart of triathlon, honestly. I mean, Ben is pretty close to the heart of triathlon in this country in Colorado. But
yeah, they didn't give us Boulder 70.3 pro race this year, so
that dropped off the calendar. Yeah, that's sad. That is the end of an era. Absolutely, the end of an era.
It's disrespect. I don't get it from Ironman's standpoint. There's so many of us here.
I don't get it either because honestly, Boulder is. I mean, anybody who would know the history of Boulder 73. I mean, it was an absolute staple for a pro field for a long time in this country, and then also. I hope that doesn't mean that they're going to drop the race altogether because that would be very sad one day. Oh, man, Josh raised his hand. I don't think Josh knew he raised his hand.
Oh, can I raise my hand on here or not?
Yeah.
Or do I just speak up? I'm new to this. Ben, how did you end up? You're in Colorado in the Mecca of triathlon, but you ended up on a podcast with three pro triathletes from Vancouver, Washington. What are the odds? What are the odds?
I don't know how Well, actually, I do know how I got here. I trained myself into a dead pulp at the end of 2024, and these two guys, Evan and Josh, you guys come to me. I think in what we start that. I get added to that big Discord sometime in November or December, um, and yeah, you guys are like, yeah, maybe like let's not try doing 100-mile run weeks on top of everything else that was going on,
You're
and
you're really
yeah.
the only triathlete I've ever met that actually during triathlon training was running 100-mile weeks for a bit. I actually don't think I've heard of anybody else doing that. If anybody wants to throw out if they've known even a Norwegian or somebody like that who has done that, I think Ben was the only one doing that at that time.
Yeah, don't try this at home, kids. It was a
Yeah,
hundred
nobody
mile
tried it
run
at home.
week coupled with like a 16-hour bike week
15 or
and
16 hours on the bike. Yeah,
30K swim. So it was like
yeah.
35, 40 hours of training.
He even put the great Jake Oswald to shame there in pure volume for a short bit, but had to rein Ben in finally. All right, guys. So that's why we're here, though. Is we're gonna get into kind of the nitty gritty of talking about our training as we lead into Dallas, because this kind of is a reflection of. There's a great podcast if anybody listens to the Triathlon Hour called The Road to Oceanside, where you're getting a couple of good friends of ours. You get Justin Reale, Ari Clow, and Jackson Laundry, who are three guys competing for the win in Oceanside, talking together about their training. And I think it's cool if you get maybe as a listener an idea of what people not competing for the podium and win, but still trying to get their top 20 or top 10 and move up in this field is what their training looks like going into Dallas, which is going to objectively be a little less competitive field than the Pro Series race Oceanside, which we will all still be in Oceanside. But Dallas is kind of our season opener if you are a mid-pack pro. So let's talk through what our first total training volume this last week has looked like, and then we'll get into some nitty gritty. So keep this one short, but let's go. Ben, give us what your last week looked like.
Yeah, so just one more time, just to clarify, we're talking Monday to now in terms of what
Yeah.
trainings look like. Okay.
No,
Yeah.
no, wait. Did we want to go rolling average? Was John? Yeah, no,
Last
rolling
7 days.
average. You got to look at training peaks, rolling 7 days. This is a new stat we're using in this.
Rolling 7 days. I got it. Okay. Yeah, so in the last 7 days or so, I've got Training Peaks pulled up right here. Let's chalk it up to about 20, 22 hours or so. They're both today and last Thursday quality track or like interval based run sesh. Last week was I believe 10 by 1K on a short jog rest. This week was 7 by 2K. And yeah, big ride on the weekend on Zwift, 5 hours on the trainer, which is just a blast here in wintry Colorado that weirdly hasn't been super wintry, but nice long run in the mountains to follow that up on Sunday and a nice swim right before that. And then really hit this week, I guess these past 4 days, heavy into bike work with uh, basically like an easy zone 2 hour ride on Monday with a swim. And then on Tuesday, a little bit more of a Josh murder me type of session with an acronym that we will not disclose on this podcast, but it was tough. It might have been over like 320 normalized power for 70 minutes, and then another like back-to-back interval day on that Tuesday, Wednesday, and then yeah, that was 2Ks this morning. So it's been a lot. It's been very bike focused and kind of lightly touching on the run a little bit as I'm coming back from a pretty big injury last fall.
That was a brutal bike workout too. Ben, I'll be honest. That was when I put that together. I kind of thought I was like, he might fail this one. This might be. That's super solid. Okay, Josh, who is at swim camp too, as he's talking about. Josh is not at home in this picture right now, even though it looks like he's got this awesome office here. He is not at home.
Yeah, I'm actually in Dana Lyon's office, and he is my homestay. It's my fifth time staying with him here in the Woodlands. So, yeah, he's become a great friend of mine. He has awards and stuff all over this thing. He has been racing since the beginning of time, and he's like 69 years old. Trains 20 hours a week, at
That's
69.
that's what I remember you telling me from before. So this guy he just trains the house down, coming up on
Yeah,
70 years old.
and he looks amazing. Like
Oh, I'm sure
you
he's
should,
shredded.
like a
Yeah, shredded
physical
head to toe.
specimen. Like that's what I want to look like when I'm 69.
There you
So,
go. The bar just
um,
keeps getting raised.
yeah, I'm at swim camp, rolling last 7 days. I'm just shy of 19 hours. That's with Saturday completely off for travel down here to the Woodlands. I'm looking at about 8 hours of swimming the last 7 days with 2 days off, Saturday and Sunday. 29,000 yards, 8 hours on the bike, and about 4 hours on the run for 31 miles.
We got two guys too coming back from injuries going into this year. Ben, you came back from a femur bone reaction, correct?
Yeah, femoral neck stress reaction. Yeah.
It was neck. Okay, yeah. And then Josh is coming back from we're not exactly sure. I'm not going to call it a bone stress reaction, even though I think it was. And then he landed on it at about 25 miles an hour off of his bicycle, which is not what you should do to an area that is already causing you pain.
Yep, fractured iliac crest is what they
Because
said.
of a dog.
Yeah, that damn dog, man.
Damn dog in Tennessee. Here, Chattanooga, right, Josh? Is that where it was? Outside
It was
Chattanooga?
in North Carolina, but it
Oh, it
was
was
a
Blue
week
Ridge.
before
Yeah.
I was out there for Ironman Chattanooga. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it was a cane Corso Mastiff, like a 140-pound dog. So fun stuff.
Man. Now
Almost weighs
going
as much as
to
me.
now going to by far the healthiest guy on this podcast, Cale Penny, the only guy not coming off of a 2025 injury, actually. So
You guys are about to find out why I don't get injured. It's 15 hours of training this week. We did
that's the secret.
6 runs, 4 to 5 to 6 miles, just every day, clicking it off. We did 9 hours of riding and 32 miles of running with about 13K of swimming. Everything is going to be about 140 heart rate or lower. I just started my season back up on January 1st. We took it some time off after La Quinta. So really like taking a nice couple weeks. We'll probably take 2 more to kind of build into the season, establish an aerobic base, and then begin some more flashy stuff. We're swimming all right now, but everything, I just did a 3-hour trainer ride, and that's the biggest thing I've done so far. So I'm feeling really good, just very easy, controlled, kind of developing the system again.
That's so smart and patient, dude. That is for somebody at your age to take that approach coming into January is huge. Like that is big because I think we all forget this year. This is kind of the overarching thing with this too is this race is earlier than I think any of us, at least me and Josh, have ever started a pro season by far. Like Oceanside was always a stretch. It's the first week of April usually. This is the middle of March. Like this season is starting. We're like in New Zealand at this point. Like this is when the Kiwis start their season, and we are starting a season very early. So I do think Kale's onto something here by like not losing his mind in January to get. I think we got a lot of people trying to get way too fit in the core of winter.
Yeah, and I'll hit 15 hours a week pretty much from here on until La Quinta. So you just got to understand that it's going to be a really long season, and you're gonna develop fitness throughout the summer, and there's no point in rushing it right now because you're not going to gain anything crazy in a month of going psycho. You just build into it. At least that's how I've done it.
That's right, and I mean, and honestly, you had a good build last season too, which is all that matters. Like good fitness overall build. My week was a little over 22 hours, 10 to 11 hours on the bike. I'm just doing what I'm told on the bike. My coaches don't let me ride easy, apparently. So I just have to hammer my legs when I don't feel good all the time. But then I give workouts to Ben and he crushes them. So I'm like, well, I have no excuses. But, and then kind of getting back to my groove with running 40 some miles a week and I'll get into the 50s this next week. Last season, I did become a little bit more of like a consistent high volume runner once I was healthy. So that's not too big of a strain. But I think we can all agree once you're that first like 50-ish mile week, you always like struggle through a bike workout or two because your legs are like so fatigued with that. Like as you're getting over 50, I think a Ben or like an Ari Clow, they like can go, dance above that 100K and still be okay. But man, every single time I hit like 50 miles in a week or start edging up towards that, my run leg starts to get pretty tired. So, all right, that's everybody's training volume. Now the more nitty gritty bit. I want everybody's best and worst training session of the last rolling 7 days. Okay, only one. You can only choose one. This isn't like, oh, I had three best swims, Josh. This is like one workout, and then what was your worst? Okay, the one workout you're proud of in the last 7 days, and the one that was the worst. Go ahead, Ben. We'll go in the same order. Ben, Josh, Kale.
Yeah, the 5 hour trainer ride for me on Saturday was definitely my best workout. It was not an easy 5 hours at all, and there was a bit of I'm like trying to think back and remember some of the intensity in there, but I'm pretty sure there was like a 10 by 1 minute on like a pretty short recovery, and everything was like north of uh, like 415 watts, if not more like 430 or something like that, which is pretty good for where I'm at right now. And then just a lot of zone two throughout the ride. So I was really happy with the execution of that ride. That was really, really good. In terms of the worst sesh, this is gonna shock no one, but it was the run the day before, and it was like a 50-minute run at like 750 pace. And let me tell you, I was trudging through that. Like, I have no idea if there's science to it. I'm sure there's a little bit on the physiological end, but there's something about slowing down mechanics that, like, just sometimes those easy sessions, like, absolutely gut you. And I just was like, I was just not having it. It was not a
That
fun run, not a good run.
that that was your best session, in my opinion, of the week. That was, I think that was Josh's favorite session too, by far. Was anything that we can get Ben running closer to like 5 kilometer, like 5 minute kilometers pace is great.
Well,
But
yeah,
yeah,
look what it led to literally the day right after.
but
But
that's
yeah.
but Ben, you can probably speak to this. That's got to be the hardest part because no, you're really the only one here. Like Kale comes from like a really good swim background, but you're really the only one who comes from like I come from a very average background in running. You came from an elite level of running in this country, at least. You know, D1 level at a very good school too. That I know talking with Ari a lot about this, and that is a hard come down to like realize that the jogging paces have to get slower as you start to build swim and bike fitness and the fatigue sets in as a triathlete. Has that been the toughest thing for you over just the last year?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you two see it every day with my runs, and there's a lot of last year that I just was very, very much so pushing back against it. A lot of times for literally no good reason other than ego and pride. Like there was a lot of like early morning treadmill sessions where it's really funny to think back in hindsight of me like pushing those to like 630 or 620 pace because it's literally a dial that you push like how fast you're going. And I just
That was always
remember,
my favorite. Was like accidentally ran 620 pace. I'm like, Josh,
yeah,
are you running on the treadmill? I was like,
yeah,
how do you accidentally select a pace?
yeah. But no, yeah, it was tough. I think it's a definitely a combination of like a letting go of an ego thing and also just doing what you've been doing for a while. And when you start stacking on, like obviously all this additional volume of cycling and swimming and maybe even like weight training and everything else that factors in, there's no need to be running, even if you're, quote unquote zone one or zone two, is going to be in that range. You're just adding so much more load on the legs. And this is the first like past 2 months where I've really started to understand that a little bit more. And I'm kind of excited about the implications, but every now and then I'll trudge through a run and I'm just like, I want to be running six flat right now.
I know it just shoots the ego, I'm sure. But that's triathlon could be summed up, I think, as like one big ego shot. The entire sport is. Everybody, we're all training tired. We all know that to be good at the 73 and Ironman distance, you obviously have to be very elite in all three sports. But if you came from elite in one of the three sports, you will not be as fast as you were at your best in that sport. Unless, I mean, maybe after years, there are some special athletes in the sport that I think can get there. Ben being that as a runner, definitely, I think he can. But like the rest of us, it's if we all focused on the one sport, we would obviously be much better at it than when you're in triathlon. Okay, Josh, give us your best and worst.
Okay, I would say the best workout here at camp was Tuesday morning. We had 50 by 25, all leaving on 35, and I was instructed to hold 15s, and I held 14s on all of them. And pretty much that was the one workout this whole camp that I pretty much led the group, where I was like touching the wall at the same time as everyone else. So I was pumped with that, and it's a lot of rest at the wall. So
Were
it
you
gives you.
beating Ari? Tell
I
us
was
the truth. Were you?
yeah, I was beating Ari. I
Yeah.
was out touching him.
Suck it, Ari. There you go.
But it gives you enough, because what we have to do at this camp is we're given like one or two cues to focus on throughout camp, just one or two, and he continuously has us focus on those while he's putting pressure on us through workouts. So a set with 25s, you're really able to focus on that one cue and swimming really well for 25, and then you rest at the wall, catch your breath, and then you go again. So, and
What's your one
14s
cue,
is
Josh?
pretty fast.
That's very fast, dude. That's very good.
Yeah, my two cues, one is like just getting long in the core and just lengthening out my body for more like core engagement to get my hips up higher. And the other one is my right arm, when I enter and I turn to breathe left, my whole body cranks to the left, like my shoulders are not square going down the lane. They're cocked over to the left. So I'm focusing on kind of leaving this arm just a little bit out to the side and not overextending it so much so it doesn't cross over.
Josh has committed a ton of his mental energy over the last couple of years into swimming, so it's awesome to see him clicking now and absolutely smoking me whenever we do a set together. So Kel gets to witness that. But
Josh is such a legit sprinter. It's crazy.
I
The
know,
dude
right?
can
It really
pop
is.
off the
Yeah.
wall.
Like you would think the exact opposite happens as a 44-year-old. You got to be like, oh, well, his anaerobic can't be that good. But Josh, literally all he does in running is easy running and then just dead sprints for 20 seconds like 10 times. That's his like major workout. And I hate keeping up with him in those sets. I'm
It's
a decade
insane.
younger than Josh,
I
and I
think
get dropped in our stride sets.
I probably missed my calling somewhere. Somewhere I was supposed to be like a.
You should have been a great boxer, man. You've like gone back to boxing training, but I think boxing was actually going to be your sport for sure.
Yeah.
I'm glad you chose triathlon instead. I don't want you getting your face beat in, but.
Wait, Josh, hold on. Didn't they? I heard on the grapevine, maybe from another triathlon-centric podcast, that Ari was beat by like a 70-something-year-old in the lane next to him. Do you know anything about this? I think I heard this on the Triathlon Hour this morning.
Not out here, but that would be his.
Seattle group.
That would be a guy. Yeah, there's a former Olympian that swims in his squad, and he's 70 plus, and the guy flies. It's amazing.
How old is David in our swim crew at Cascade? Cal and Josh know who I'm talking about. He's a great master swimmer we have here in the Vancouver area.
Yeah, the multiple like Oregon State age group, 65 age group record holder in the mile and the 400 and the 800. David is 65.
He's Medicare age up. That's wild. This guy looks like, if you told me, Josh, he was like 46, I'd believe you. I'd be like, yeah, he could be 46.
Exactly.
That's crazy. Okay, Josh, what was your worst session of the week?
Worst session, I would just say, anytime I come down here, my worst session is always the endless pool session. I find it extremely hard to swim well in an endless pool where you have a current coming at you. You have to stay inside the current to keep your body from squiggling all over the place. The current is pushing your hips down, and then you got a camera, like cameras all around you because this is being filmed, and it's a lot of pressure, and I feel like all of my weaknesses in the swim and flaws are just magnified and amplified, and it's very humbling, but it's good for me, so I put up with it. But that's always my worst session, and it's only like a 15-minute workout.
I'd be terrified of that endless pool. I think we talked about this with Kale where we were just like, could you, like, we already know you're struggling through emotion. You're just like, watch it from every angle too, while everybody else is also watching you from every angle.
Evan, you would love the endless pool. You know why?
Why?
No flip turns.
That is very true. Actually, I probably should just train in an endless pool. Take the wall away. All right, moving on to Kale. Give us your best and worst workouts, even in a shorter training week, and getting back to it. We all know there's still that one you felt best in and that one that you did not feel so good.
Yeah, to no surprise of anyone here, my best workout was a swim. I finally got to open up the system a little bit and do 15 by 100 on 90 seconds in the short course meter pool. Started like upper
What
zone
were you hitting?
two. Oh, I started at 120 and I got down to 112, all on like tempo effort. Like I feel like I probably could have dropped a couple 67, 68s in there. Like I felt pretty good in the meter pool this week, which is nice. I feel like coming off the off season, um, you have a little bit of extra buoyancy, which really makes you swim really well. At least that's what I found. And
Yeah,
the fatigue's really low, so it's nice to remind myself that I can swim. I can swim decent. Um,
we know that. Yeah, I was going to say that's no surprise to us.
Sometimes it depends.
But I know that your level that you want to get to. So give the people some background on like your swims this last year in races where you came out.
Yeah, so I have done 2 Pro 70.3s with swims, and I came out on the back end of the front pack both times in what I would call like half-assing it completely, which is frustrating for myself a little bit, but it's also such a long race that I'm really worried about burning a lot of matches in the swim, and I know I can just draft off people. Um, so I really want to get to the not the front of the front pack, but to the center of the front pack, so that when we're going through transition, I can get with people on the bike. Right now,
Mm-hmm.
coming out behind everybody, I'm having to bike with people coming from behind, which is a little bit less ideal than it would be to get out in that that fifth or sixth spot. Especially, we're all mid pack pros. We're looking for sponsorships. I want to get a wetsuit sponsorship sometime, and you're not going to get it getting out 15th. So this year, we're really putting an emphasis on swimming a little bit better, trying to really make a name for yourself in the water so that you can turn some heads. Because the bike and the run, I'm sitting with three people who are better biker and runners than I am. So we got the swim. We got to use it as a
Not for
weapon.
long, man. Hopefully not for long.
We're
Okay,
crossing our
so
fingers.
off that 15 by 100 on 130, what do you want that set to be? Let's say in Dallas, your goal is, let's just say the swim list comes out. We know, well, the start list comes out, but the swim list is what you're looking at. We know Greg Harper is going to be there, so we can just check off. We know who's coming out of the water first. What like
He's racing age group, I thought.
no, that was a lie. I'm so glad that lie has like now permeated all through North American tri. Like it's hilarious that is no. Greg will definitely be racing pro still.
Yeah,
Spread
he's
it.
gonna be
He's
up.
age group.
Yeah. He's got a new kid and all that. So we'll see how Greg comes out. But I got faith that old Greg's gonna do us. I can't call him old Greg. I'm like 6 months older than Greg is, but still, that's
I
okay.
raced
So
Greg one time when I was trying to get my pro card racing draft legal, and I had
mhm.
been racing collegiate mostly and gotten out of the water, first or second every single time. The dude put 90 seconds into me in a 750-meter swim.
She's set. Oh my,
It was one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen in my life. Like I'm in the race, like
that's
this. It was 3 body lengths within 5 strokes. It was genuinely incredible.
he's an absolute dolphin. The dude is
Yeah.
he's an incredible swimmer to witness in person. He really is. So
So
what
I
do you want, Kale? That 15 by 100 set on 130 before, like, let's say Dallas and Oceanside. Like where does that set need to be for you to feel confident? Because those are
I
fast numbers for a lot of our listeners. So where does that need to be?
Yeah, so that's a tempo set, hitting it at like 115. I'll progress it down to, I want to do 110 on 120. So take 10 seconds of rest off, hold 1010, which is like 102. That's where my threshold has been traditionally when I'm in really good shape. So if I can hit 15, I probably would bump it up to 15 to 20 by 100, leaving on that 120 interval, hitting 110 would be a good spot to be in.
Yeah, it's funny. My whole goal this year is exactly 10 seconds slower than all of that per 100. The send off being 130 and the reps being 120, 121. That's my whole goal for 15 by 100 this year. Okay, so
It's
Kale,
what you got to do, though, yeah.
what's your worst session of the week?
So on Friday, I ran a grand total of 6 miles in 50 minutes, and my heart rate was over 140 the whole time. I
That's
felt terrible. It was like one of those where we've had a good 10 days of training and the fatigue catches up and you just feel gross. And I call it crunchy. Like I felt crunchy, and I looked down at my watch and was like, we got it's 150 heart rate right now. We got to slow down. And yeah, it was rough.
You and Benny could have jogged together that day. That's good. You kind of just slogged through a Sufferfest 6 miler there together.
Dude, it was
Yeah.
it was 8:20 pace by the end of it. So no, Benny would have been putting 2
He
minutes
would have
into
been
me.
dropping you.
Yeah, I would have gotten.
Kale, do you wear a heart rate strap or do you just go off the wrist sensor on your watch?
I am really diligent about always wearing the strap because I don't really think the wrist reads that well.
You're
And I
right.
think
Attaboy.
That's a good athlete right there. I don't know who's going off wrist heart rate monitoring here, but anyway.
Evan.
So my chest strap broke. I'll get it fixed soon. All right. So my best and worst session. My best is I don't think any of these workouts are that. Here's the problem: is I have to hear Ari Cloud bike workouts all day. Like that's all I look at. That's all I hear. So every single bike workout I do, even though I bike raced back in the days, they're not impressive to me. But there's one that I'm proud of because I think it's heading in the right direction. Is I did 15 by 1 minute with 1 minute rest in between at or over. Actually, I progressed quite a bit over 400 watts. So it went to like 420 to 430 by the end of that work, I think. Was that right, Josh? I think I got those numbers right.
Yeah, I think that's right. What was your heart rate? We don't know. We'll never know.
Heart rate's all part of your imagination. It was 140.
Maybe 130, maybe. Who knows? Yeah.
It could have been 130. We don't know. So it could have been very low. But yeah, I was pretty proud early in the season of that bike workout where I'm like, okay, I think I can start raising the ceiling on the bike.
Yeah, that was good work.
And then my worst session of the week by far was I have this very bizarre gut issue that comes along every once in a while. I'm convinced it is because of the chemicals in the pool. I'm very sensitive to them. I'm also not a great swimmer and I'm allergic to pools. Maybe that goes hand in hand. Who knows? But I have this stomach issue that sometimes my gut starts to feel like bad after a swim to run. It only happens every once in a while, and it's literally like I can feel my stomach like moving as I run. It's a really not good feeling. But Wednesday, I'm always at the clinic, so I got to get a quick swim in. And then if I have the time or I have a patient cancellation, I'll also get my run workout in. And last Wednesday, I unfortunately did the swim went well, got back and got 20 minutes into the run and my stomach was moving and I just pulled the plug. So I just moved the run workout to the day after, which then I suffered for because then it was intensity in the swim, intensity on the bike, and intensity on the run. So hopefully not making that mistake again this week. But yeah, that was my best and worst. All right, guys, we're moving on to our hot seat question, which is definitely stealing this from the old Dialed podcast, if Josh remembers. I used to be on with Jake Von During, Matt LeGrand, and Lance Hepler, which was a wonderful podcast. But they used to always do a hot seat segment, which we weren't allowed to tell each other. We might have told each other the questions this first round. We won't in the future. But you get one question to ask to somebody else. We've already decided who's asking who. You guys have already got your questions. So these are just related to the race or the season in general. So they don't need to be too specific. They can kind of be out there questions. But hot seat segment. Let's go. Ben, you're asking the question to Josh first. Go.
Yeah, so Josh and I we actually spoke a little bit about it because he's pretty fried this week with everything he's got swimming wise, and yeah, it's one that's a little bit more general, I think, to the season. Josh recently kind of celebrated 6 years sober, which is amazing. That's awesome, and saw him post that on his Instagram. And something that I've kind of wondered for a while and have heard a lot of is just kind of why do people with these like highly kind of addictive tendencies or maybe addictive attitudes and at times things with drugs, alcohol, things that are generally bad for someone's well-being. Why do we find these people gravitating towards triathlon? And what's sort of that argument that you might have for people who are saying you've quote unquote swapped addictions? And I'm speaking from personal experience here as well, from a completely different sort of circumstance, and even looking at guys like Lionel Sanders as well. But Josh, I'm kind of curious your take on all this.
We are getting deep on the first podcast, boys. Wow.
It's burning for Dallas.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Thanks for the question, Ben. Thanks for the congrats on 6 years. Yeah, I mean, so what I find with addiction and recovery is that a lot of people can relate. So I guess I'll just kind of talk about like what's draws me to the sport. And I think that's a lot of people can relate, and it's going to be consistent across the board. But like I know for me, I was once very like unhealthy because of my addiction, and triathlon and endurance sports in general is really just provides like a structure and purpose and a positive outlet for me. Um, I got a daily regimen, I got discipline, I got consistency, I got accountability. Um, I, I look good after like years of like not looking very good. Um, and really just kind of being part of the tri
There's a
community.
great old Josh picture too. That's just an awesome comparison. I know that I think you showed it to me and Ari before, Josh. But there's a like just the physical change was incredible too. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, I was probably 220 pounds at the worst in my addiction, and I kind of hover, depending on what time of year it is, between 165 and 175 now. So I mean, definitely was not in a healthy way. But yeah, like being part of like a tri community, kind of gives athletes a sense of belonging, and that's not something you really get. That's something usually addiction takes that away from you. It doesn't give that to you. So, um, and then Ben, as far as the follow-up question, as far as like swapping addictions, I definitely that's a great question because I've thought about that myself. Like, it's easy to get carried away with our training, and it's easy to like get obsessed with things over our training or with gear or what other people are doing. And I think that as long as you have like people surrounding you that can help hold you accountable, and make sure that you're not getting carried away and you're still keeping things in balance, I think that's what's most important. At the end of the day, like you're doing something good for yourself and you're being a positive influence on other people. And in active addiction, you're not being a positive influence on people and you're not doing something that's good for yourself. So I don't see it as swapping addictions. I think it can get carried away with if you're not kept in check, but as long as you can have people around you that hold you accountable, I think everyone's okay.
I love that. And there's Josh, give us the one podcast you've done recently where you talked about your history too. Was it with Bag? Did you do the Campfire Endurance podcast?
We did the infirmary with Bag where
The infirmary,
we
yeah.
we touched on it briefly. The one we went deep into it was Stupid Questions
Stupid Question with
podcast.
Seth Hill. Yeah, yes.
Yep,
Everybody should go and check out that Seth Hill podcast with Josh because that's a great one. That is.
yep. That is a very deep dive.
Yeah. Okay, Kale. Since we know that Coach Kale has to go to practice here soon, let's do our back and forth real quick, and then we're going to go Josh to Ben after that. So I got mine for you first. If you could go back, Kale raced collegiate triathlon at where'd you race again? Iowa.
Iowa,
Iowa,
not Idaho.
Not Idaho.
Corn,
Same
not
idea.
potatoes.
Yeah. Indiana, Iowa, all the same. Illinois. So if you could go back to your first collegiate race at that finish chute, enjoying a non-alcoholic beverage, probably because you were what 18 or 19 at that time.
Yeah, I was definitely not.
Were you 18 or 19? Yeah.
Yeah, I was 18.
In that finish chute, if you could tell him something now, right after that race got done, knowing everything you know now, going through your first pro season in the long course game, what would you tell him?
Enjoy it. Collegiate triathlon is the best form of triathlon, undoubtedly. There's no pressure. Every race is cheap. You show up. I met my best friend through that. I met my wife through that. It's the most amazing thing you can do. Please enjoy it because it only gets more time consuming and more stressful, and not in a bad way. Like I love racing as a pro, but
Yeah.
every race is expensive. Every race there's high pressure. So enjoy it. And that's what I would tell him. And I did. So I'm happy I did that as well.
I love that. Kel's a wise guy. Very wise for only 26.
Yeah. My question for you, Evan. Everybody knows Evan is this really happy-go-lucky guy, but when Evan races, he's a little bit of a different character. And my question for
when I race.
my question for Evan is, what is the worst thought or the most out of character thought you've had about another athlete while they're passing you or while you're passing them?
I love this guy. I would love when Caleb sent me this question because he actually knew the answer already. And it's funny coming into Dallas and Oceanside coming up because it's going to be a very relevant point. My most out of pocket thought I had in my head ever was an Oceanside 2024. Josh will remember this. I was not having a good run. I had some knee issues at that time too, and I was just getting smoked. Josh had a great run that day, and we came off the bike together, and he's running ahead, and I'm holding on for dear life to run like a 118 that day or something. And Josh, if you remember, we had dropped Thomas Rodriguez on the bike. Now, this was a couple weeks before he went and won Texas. So the guy was clearly fit at that time. No idea what was going on with him in this bike in Oceanside. People can make assumptions, whatever they want to say or whatever. I have an idea what he was doing. But he comes with me off the bike, and then anyway, we had dropped him. He caught us on the run at like mile 1 or 2, and he was flying for a second. And then out of nowhere, at like mile 2, shuts the engine off. Like, he's out in front of me. He's one of the best runners in the sport, period, at that time. Shuts the engine off. And I'm running up to him. And like, I just kind of give him a look like I'm looking at the camera right now, just like, what are you doing? And I'm just like this as I pass him. And he tells me to go screw myself. Like, he tells me, in no uncertain terms. And I just remember in my head, the thoughts that were going through my, like, the most out of pocket thoughts ever. I just told in my head this guy to go just F himself. Like, I was so mad at Thomas Rodriguez for like a mile or 2 after that. And then I was in too much pain to care and just hurt. I think that he like soft jogged the rest of the half and then went on to win Ironman Texas 2-3 weeks later and then test positive for EPO after that or whatever he tested positive for. But yeah, that's the answer to that one, Caleb.
The second maddest. The second maddest is how you were at that referee at Santa Cruz when you got the drafting penalty.
Yeah. I was so mad.
You were so hot.
That too. See, but that wasn't even thoughts in my head. I was just yelling stuff at that point. So I swear, everywhere outside of the start to finish line of a race, I really try to be a very positive influence on the sport.
Well, didn't you run pretty mad at oh my gosh, La Quinta, right? At the end of last year on that second lap.
Yeah, which ended up being my best. I race really well when I'm angry. Like, I think that we all kind of think that, but some athletes I think race really well happy. I do this bizarre thing where I try to, it's a corny quote, but Kipchoge, yeah, Josh, if I'm starting to feel good on the run and I really want to wake up and run fast, at that point I'll start hitting myself like pretty hard on the face. Like really, like I'll sometimes like do a like kind of a hit. Yeah. Like
I like that.
It wakes you up if you do it harder. It's not like a light. If you do a light slap, it's just dumb because you're not gonna like the guy. The reason I do that is because Jason West I'm not sure if he still does that, but Jason West used to do that, and it's like a wrestler's thing because Jason West was a wrestler. Wrestlers will kind of like hit their head to kind of get themselves going. And I saw Jason West do it once. And I was like, that is awesome. Like, I love that. That guy looks so alive right now. So I started doing it during races. And if I'm having a good run, I'll hit myself pretty hard to keep it going. That probably sounds to anybody listening to this, sounds like the most psychotic thing ever. Like, that sounds like we're all unstable when we're all talking about that.
Does it work if somebody else hits you too, or just you hitting yourself? Like, if I slap you?
If you're coming up next, I need you to hit me in the back of the head as hard as possible. So.
Got it. Okay.
All right. Kayla, are you good for the rest, or do you need to go?
I might need to let you guys go.
Yeah, you're good. Awesome. We're down to our last one right now, but don't worry. Coach Josh or Coach Kale has to go. Coach, tell us, drop this real quick. Your fastest swimmer, the 10-year-old girl or 11-year-old girl, what did she swim recently?
I have an 11-year-old girl that I coach that swam a 55 100 free and backed it up with like a 5800 butterfly. This girl,
11.
She's 11, just turned 11 too. Not like 11 and a half, just turned 11. Absolute animal. She's like 4 or 5. She comes off the wall. She's getting like 8 dolphin kicks. It is perfection. I get to watch somebody who is going to be great at swimming at practice and have done nothing to get her there, but I get to support her. So
that is so awesome.
That's incredible.
That is incredible.
She's going to Stanford or something. God,
she is.
that's amazing.
Yeah, she is going to Stanford.
an absolute dog. We call her the Belgian Malinois, which is this like attack dog that like SAS like they
That's
use.
awesome.
She's crazy.
That is
All
so
right,
cool.
boys.
All
It was
right.
good
All
catching
right, see
up.
ya, Kale.
Yeah,
Awesome
see you
seeing you, Kel.
guys.
Yep.
See
All
you,
right,
dude.
guys. Now the last one here
All right,
before we're
Benny
done.
boy.
Oh,
Since
wait.
you,
No, my bad. Hot seat question. Josh DeBend. Yeah.
yep. Since you gave me a two-part question, I got a two-part question for you, sir.
Okay.
If you had to race Dallas 70.3 right like this weekend with the current fitness, current training, no taper, no excuses, what's your real finish time? Give us the splits. And then I want to know what's the dumbest thing you've ever put in your transition bag before a race. Let's hear it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I've thought a little about this. I think so no taper at all. Like I'm just rolling in. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm swimming better than anything I did last year. It's a lake swim in Dallas, and I think I'm just thinking about Boise and how I never want to do that ever again.
It will be
Uh,
wetsuit, too. It's going to be
it,
wetsuit.
it will be wetsuit. I think I'm going to swim something north of. I I think it would be faster than 29 minutes. I really would hope so with the work that I put in on the swim this fall, and swimming while having an injury and not doing the other sports really allowed me to get to a new level of swimming that I don't think I would have been able to get to if I was doing all three sports simultaneously. So let's call it a 29. T1. I actually haven't looked at what that transition is going to look like,
Yeah,
but
we'll forget about
um,
transitions just because
okay,
we don't know how big the transitions are.
okay. I think I'm gonna bike at least a 205. I know it's a rolling course, but the bike seems like it hasn't dropped off at all from where it was like right around Augusta, and I think I don't know, I don't want to like be calling my shot or anything here, but I definitely think I'm going to be one of the better cyclists and runners in the North American field for 2026. But the run, I think, would let me down this weekend. I'm not really where I think I have been in the past. I think I could maybe scrape together like a 114 or something along those lines. But yeah, it still would be like a sub 4 hour day, but I think it would be something that would be, if you factored in transitions, probably around like 3:55.
I'd actually say you're going to run faster than 114. I just ran
Well,
115, and I still don't touch the workouts that you do. Still coming just off an injury, but you're right. Is that I mean that's probably close, but all that together, Betty still puts you actually like mid 250 or mid 350s, like low 350s with that combination. If you're coming out of the water under 29, there's a lot of guys who need to be worried. I think Ben is going to start to become a much more dangerous player if he's starting to come out at under 29, which his pool times are indicating absolutely you can, man.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Yeah, we'll definitely see once we get to Dallas. Fun part of this question. So the second part, funniest thing I have put in a transition bag. This is like hilarious and so petty, but for Boulder 70.3 this last year in 2025, I like in the lead up to Boulder, I was getting like the most flack and just social media hate that I have ever gotten. Like I'm no stranger to it because I put a lot of stuff out there, and I think I'm kind of I don't know, I'm kind of like an ambitious personality on social media. And most of the time it works just fine, but I was getting like harassed by this one random dude who lives in Canada. I'll like
Yeah,
his name's Harry. It's like
throw his name out because I
yeah,
remember seeing this is actually what got me and Josh's attention too is some of the random like anybody who knows Benny is just like I don't understand haters sometimes. I genuinely don't. Where I'm just like I don't think you've said a mean thing. Like I have said way meaner things to people than you ever have. I deserve entirely more hate than you ever have. But there seem to be some people that do not like you for some reason.
yeah, it's funny. His name's Harry Halford. The weird part about it is I ran with his significant other at CSU, and like I think we might have even gone on a run together. We've gone out for drinks before, but it just like came out of the woodwork basically over social media for that whole like winter and spring and just like Strava and Instagram harassment. And at one point he said some shit about like,
he was just having a rough summer. He was
yeah,
he was just having such a bad summer. He's like, I'm just gonna harass somebody on Strava now. Like, who does that?
I don't know what it was
Random
about.
place to harass somebody.
Yeah, he made a claim that was like, at least like I don't do a sport where I like don't have to pay for my own license. And I think, and I just remember like that led to this whole conversation, and he
It's
was
like, we
just
all
like,
pay for our license. I was like,
yeah,
Christian Blumenfeld pays for his license.
yeah. He said a bunch of stuff like, you know, you're just so full of yourself, you're so cocky, you're so like you're not actually like even that good, and all these other things. And I screenshotted it, um, and I printed it off, and I put it in my transition bag,
You had
and
that in your transition.
I looked at it right before the race, and then Clodian Mitri, if you know this guy, he comes over to
Yeah,
me and
great
he's
guy.
like, you ready for this race? I'm like, oh yeah, it's gonna be great. And he's like, you're gonna kill it out there. And I just remember looking down at the note and all this slander that Harry said. I'm like, I know, it's gonna be great.
You had a
And
great race
I
that
had a
day
great
too.
race
Yeah,
at
had a
Boulder,
great
yeah.
race. Yep.
But
Yep.
that's the pettiest and the stupidest thing I've ever put in a transition bag.
I'm also glad that
I
you
don't
as
blame
like
you
a
for that one
young
though.
I would, yeah, I don't blame. But I also love that Clodian came up to that because, like, I feel like you guys are probably starting to realize that Clodian is been around for a long time and is just such good energy in the sport. He's such a good guy. And I'm
Best
glad that,
energy.
like, there is some of this, like, older guys who have been around for a while that are, we genuinely are trying to look out for some of the younger guys. And there's probably no better person you can hang out with 5 minutes before a swim start than Clodian Mitri. He's going to make you feel so
Yep.
good before you get in the water.
He's awesome. We're talking about Groons, and he's like, "You ever had Groons? They're a vegetable supplement." And then, you know, after like now I'm
Yeah.
working on a sponsor deal with him. It's just like that guy's
He's like, he's
awesome.
trying to sell something right before. He's like the best
Yeah,
tipsman I've ever met.
we're like swim cap on, like adjusting goggles. He's like, "You had Groons?"
Clodian could convince me to like give him my goggles right before we jump in the water. Like he's one of like my favorite people.
Yeah.
Okay, so our last topic now, guys. Josh has been holding this one off because I know he's been thinking about this one, and I didn't tell him we were doing this before, so I'm not sure if he's got a name in his head. We'll only do one name so you don't have to think of two. I wanted to do this as good and great, but let's just say great. Let's just go for great. Okay, let's assume it's a field. We do not have the start list yet. Once we do, we will talk about it on this podcast in the future. We're doing this weekly. But let's say it's the normal North American non-pro series peeps that are showing up. Okay? Similar to a La Quinta field, similar to an Augusta field, a Chatfield, those fields. Okay? Who do you need to beat to have a great day? Because we race each other. This is the thing that people don't realize is we're not talking times. I know Ben was trying to think through times here, but we don't think in times here. We think of who you need to beat. So let's go Josh first. Josh, who do you need to beat in Dallas?
Michael Weiss, the other 44-year-old that I just realized that
I like
might
that
still be
a
racing,
lot.
but he usually races in like Mexico. But
Dude, if
he comes out here,
to Dallas, it's close to Mexico. I mean, Dallas is as close as
battle,
you're going to
yeah,
get to that.
battle
Yeah.
the 44-year-olds.
Dude, that would be big. I actually love. I will do things to see if that can work, dude. That would be great. So take a very long pull on the bike. Okay, Ben.
Yeah, I've got God. I definitely there's two people that come to mind, but I I think Josh Burles. I don't know if he's going to be at Dallas. I think he probably will be. And I love Josh. I think he's awesome. We spoke for a long time after Boulder, and like we've got this like rebounding young dude on the come up energy that I feel like is just really good for the sport. But just the competitive nature of it, I think if I was ahead of Josh, that would mean I had a really good day. And yeah, I think it's a good thing to shoot for.
Ooh, we're
I
clipping
love
this
that.
one.
Dude, Ben, that's hilarious because we didn't share these with before. That was my pick, was actually Josh, because I love that kid's energy too. He's one of my favorite like younger kids in the sport. I love how I think I called him out on something on a podcast on the Power Rankings once, and he like remembered it. And he's like
He
mentioned
did.
it to me after races. He's a cagey, like that kid has a
Yeah.
dog in him for sure. I like that kid a lot.
You
He's
put him
gonna
in
be
the
strong this
grindstone
next
tier.
year.
Yeah, you put him in the grindstone tier.
He did not like that.
The
He did not
grindstone
like being
tier, that's
bottom
what it was.
He did not like the bottom tier. He's a good kid. Like that kid's going to be good. There's a lot of youth in the North American scene. I'm excited about like Ben, Ari, and I mean, Josh definitely falls into that too. So I'll go Ted Treacy just because he's like one of my favorite guys. I love Ted. And Ted is like, nobody ever talks about Ted. Ted is so consistent and good. He came to La Quinta and like, he's so humble. You would get the impression with him before the race that he barely trained coming into it. And he was so fit and had a good day in La Quinta. So if I can get up to Ted on the run, I'd be really, really happy. Like that'd be a very good day for me.
Like what would Ted swim and bike and run on a typical fast course?
Ted's going to go
take a minute.
26 or 27 in the swim. He's going to go fast on the bike. I mean, when Ted pushes, Ted can be a 320 to 340 walk guy, if not a little more. And he's a big, strong guy. So he'll bike 203, 204 on a course like this that's rolling if he's got the legs. And he'll probably run a 118 to 120, I think. So,
okay. So that's where you make up your...
Yeah. Yeah, I want to bike even with him. I think I can bike even with Ted, but that's a big task because Ted's strong. So I can't just say that. You got to do it because Ted's going to show up to play for sure if he goes to Dallas. All right, guys. That's Mabel telling us we got to be done here. So under an hour.
Good girl, Mabel.
We're going to do it in like around a half hour, but we're going to do this for an hour, this time, and we might be around an hour on each of these. So this is our episode 1 of Burnin' for Dallas. And that's all for now, folks.
Peace.